Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I'm really excited to bring you a great collection of stamps from our friends at Crafters Companion. I have delightful butterflies, swirling florals, wildflowers and butterflies, and spring blossom. I can't wait to show you what my friend Debbie and I did with these stamps, so come play with us. So let's start with the delightful butterflies stamp. This stamp is 4 by 6. See it right here, and it fits really well on this 5 by 6.5 inch card. I stamp and heat embossed on some great watercolor cardstock here, and then I used gold embossing powder, and you can use either one of these great embossing pads. This is the Wow Clear Ultra slow drying embossing pad, and also we carry the Watermark by Spectrum Noir translucent clear for heat embossing. Either one of those work great. Debbie and I kind of switch between the two. So for this one, once I stamp and then heat embossed this wonderful metallic gold embossing, then I wanted to do a little bit of inking using Harmony, a water reactive dye ink. This one is Spring Meadow, and then we've got our orange color. So I'm going to get out my handy dandy craft mat here because we're going to get a little messy. There we go. And I like to use my blending brushes here. All right. And if you can see here, I started out by putting orange here and here in opposite quarters, and then the sort of a lime green in these opposite quarters, and then just sort of filled in the center. So let's start off by doing our orange. And really, I want to get this pretty dark. I'm just going to go directly onto the surface. I'm not going to blot. I really want to get a lot of color on there. All right. And in fact, I'm not even going to do the whole thing because I have so many techniques to show you today, and I don't want this video to be 3 hours long. So here is that sort of a limey green, chartreuse really. All right, so there we've got our colors. Always remember to clean off your brushes. I say this every time. It only takes you one time of ruining a card because you decided to pick up a brush that was dirty, and then you have a big blot of orange on your light blue sky. All right. So once you have that done, then I just like to take a little bit of water. Now you could use a spatter brush or something like that, or even a paintbrush, but I like to just use some water on my hands and just get nice chunky drops, just like that. And you can just see it reacting right from the very get-go there. Starting to leave these great big water blotches. That's what we like. That's what we want. And then I stamped and embossed it twice actually, and I cut out the nice large butterfly. I used to use my handy dandy little scissors and cut that out, and then just put a little bit of foam tape under that so I had a little dimension there. And then for my background, I used some cardstock. This is a Secret Garden cardstock. It's got two great shades of green, and I love this really limey green, so I used that. And I also matted with some gold metallic paper, which is great stuff to have on hand. And then of course adding a little zigzag border, and these are thin line dazzle stickers, and they're just in these great primary colors right here. I used a yellow one going right down here, and then just cut a little strip with a little dovetail notch in that, and just added a tiny words and phrases dazzle sticker right here. Oops, grabbed the wrong one there. And I just used the gold one, and these come in all kinds of different finishes in this set. Okay, so there's one card down. This next one, here we go. I'm going to use this one. This is the Spring Blossom set. Once again, I used some watercolor paper. Here is the stamp. I love it. It's like a, you know, really to me it looks like a dogwood or maybe even a magnolia blossom. Not too familiar with a lot of botanicals. I just know what I like. So here is just a little sample if it's stamped onto watercolors, and I wanted to show you watercolor paper. I wanted to show you don't have to use the whole image, okay? So how cute to just use a little bit of it. So on this particular background paper on my 6.5 by 5 inch card, I use gingham #2 paper pack and the cording cardstock, and right here you see it's got a great teal one, okay? I loved that color. And I wanted it to match. I sort of started with my ink colors and then matched it to my paper. I think that's just because we have infinite colors of paper around here, but if I was at home working and I didn't have a warehouse full of all kinds of great paper and goodies, I would start with the paper and then match my ink to that. So in this case, I'm using Peacock Green, and this is Prism Shimmer ink pad. And then Orange Zest, and this is Apricot Sorbet. So I've stamped this on watercolor cardstock, but I stamped it in contour ink, okay? So you can see there, it's got a nice gray background on it. Contour ink is great because it doesn't have that black outline on it. So let's get right to this, and I'm going to show you how this works. I love to just use a watercolor brush for this project. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the Apricot Sorbet. Just put a little bit here on my mat. Now the way the water brush works is you're just going to squeeze a little bit out to get it going. You can also just work, you know, get some directly from the pad. And I'm going to use this on my stems. And when I'm going on the stem here, it's going to just darken that gray color of ink. Let's zoom in on this, Steve. So it's going to darken this gray color, and even though it's apricot, I liked that it looks like just sort of a wood branch. And I'm just deciding I like it straight from the pad because it's a nice darker color. So once I get that first layer of ink on there, then I'm going to go down one side of the branch with a heavier, darker color. Okay? That's just sort of adding a little bit of depth to that branch. And it's just a really easy technique. You don't have to be an expert in painting or in watercolors to do this. Alright, so that's that one piece right there. And then to clean the water brush, just take it and wipe that on a damp paper towel or a wipe. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the Orange Zest. And same thing on this one. I am going to outline by going over that gray line first. And on this particular blossom, it doesn't matter if you get inside the line because we're going to color it with Orange Zest, but you really want to avoid getting it outside out here because that's going to be the blue that or rather the Peacock Green that we're going to put on. It just sort of reads as a blue. And then I'm doing sort of heavier, darker color at the base of the petal. Just like that. And now I'm going to color in these little side pieces that are sort of like right here. They have sort of an edge that looks like it's maybe curling a little bit, so that you might be seeing the side or the back part of the petal. And I just want those to be a little darker. Alright, so now I'm just going to pick up a little more water, and I'm just going to do a lighter shade over the entire surface of the petal. And it's great if you can pick up that color from the sides, that darker color. Okay, so once again, dark on that wider little side piece, and then we're going to go outline that gray line. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's just get it right here, and now we're going to go darker at the base. All right, now we're gonna take some water. We're gonna go up from the base. And we're catching that color from the side. Then you're gonna go around, and once you get your entire flower done, then just go back and add a little more color. That's what I did. I did it, mine were like this, and then I thought, oh, I want more color towards the center. And I just kind of went back until I was like what I got. All right, so then, clean off our brush again. I'm gonna go ahead and use the peacock green. Now the peacock green, I do want it to be pretty light, and it reads sort of like a teal. So I'm gonna put this right here. Really want some color there. There we go. There's my color. And mix in that water, and then we're just gonna start and just kind of go like that. I like to sort of brush in one direction. And of course, all of my flowers should be colored before I'm doing this part. It just makes it easier to see where you're going on those gray lines if all of your coloring is already done. Okay, and I'm just kind of going in that upward direction, just like that, okay? And then I'll do some around the edge of the flower here. And I like that background to be pretty watery, so really use a lot of that water. All right, so after I did that and I let that dry, then I added just some gold stickles and just put a couple little dots in the center. I have no idea if this particular blossom has a kind of center in it. I just wanted to add some gold sparkle to my card. And I can do whatever I want because it's my project, right? So if you don't want to add anything to the center, then don't do that. And then at the top here, I added some borders. Where are my borders? Here we go. These are pastel and pearl thin line border dazzles. And there's a great sort of minty green in here. I loved that color. So I added that along the top. And then I used a pastel script greeting dazzle in this great peach color. And I just loved how that just popped right there. And then just added a gold bow. So what else can I tell you about this card? Yeah, I made it flush with the top of the card, so I had room down here for my greeting. All right, so next project. All right, here is a card that my friend Debbie made. It's just gorgeous. For this one, Debbie used the Swirling florals. This is what this one looks like. And she started out with black cardstock to cover her card, and then she used some more black cardstock just cut to stamp on, okay? Now, she's going to stamp with black embossing powder. Where's the black embossing powder? Did I not bring the black? Okay, I didn't bring the black embossing powder. Anyway, she stamped with great black embossing powder. Same process as the gold, and then she did some painting on that. So that's what that looked like. So when she cut this piece of her stamp and embossed size, she matted that with sparkling sheets, and it has this great metallic-y orange color in there. Aren't those amazing? And then this piece right here, she used from another collection with script greening dazzles. And this is the original collection that we did, and it has sort of a matte gold on there. We have multiple collections of those, and they're fantastic to have on hand. So let me show you what product she used to color in her black embossed flowers. She used this great product. This is Cosmic Shimmer Opal Blaze Polish. It comes in this adorable little pot. It almost looks like it's from like eyeshadow or something. And this particular color is Pink Blueberry. They come in all kinds of different colors. So I'm gonna read through these colors and show you. Here's Teal Raspberry, Sapphire Grape. You know what I should do? I should show you what they're going to look like and then read them. That is more beneficial, Lene. Okay, so we've got pink blueberry. Is that right? Yeah, that's pink blueberry. And I'm gonna need a little bit of water here, just to take the cap off. A little bit of water. And then we're going to use a paintbrush. You could use a water brush on this, okay? And here's the pink blueberry. And it is just, it looks so great on black and dark color. Okay, so can you see that? Isn't that great stuff? Now make sure that you put this lid on really tight, and you want to keep, now that I've got it on tight, I want to show you, make sure you keep this little piece on here, because these are notorious for sort of drying out if you don't have your lid on right. Don't just leave it like that. And the other thing is, if they do start to get a little gummy, just spritz a little, just a tiny mist of water on top, and then seal that back up again, and it'll kind of reactivate that. So just beware of that. I noticed that we hadn't used these in a while, and yeah, I had to like reactivate one of them. All right, so then this one is the teal raspberry. Come on. Yeah, this is the gummy one. Here I thought I did a great job. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just mist that one. And it's best to just let it sit for a bit. We can still use this. Okay, so this is this one. Did I already say the name? Teal raspberry. Look at that great teal color. Amazing. So we're gonna make sure that this cap is on really good, and then seal that up, and we'll have better luck with that. All right, so this one is, I already did the pink blueberry. I already did the teal raspberry. Here's a sapphire grape. All right. Look at that color. That's fantastic. Now you guys, there are a ton of colors here. I'm not going to show them all because it will just go on and on, but let me see if I can find that's very different. This is sunset orange. This is gilded avocado, golden blackberry, and turquoise peach. I'm going to do the avocado because I think it's great for doing leaves and stuff with. And this also looks great on white cardstock. I'm going to show you this on white and black. So here it is on black, and here it is on white. All right, so on the white you can still see that shimmer of green, but you can see it really pops on the black. There we go. Getting that cap on there good. So yeah, once Debbie did her black embossing on black cardstock, her heat embossing, then she just went back and painted all of this. And then what's great about this stuff is because she black embossed, she can just take a damp paper towel or a wipe, and she can just wipe off the parts that got onto the embossing, and it just comes right off. It's really great stuff. All right, here's another card that Debbie did. This one is so beautiful, and it uses, this is the Wildflowers and Butterflies stamp set. So let me show you what this one looks like. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? And what Debbie did is she, on just plain cardstock. Debbie's a fan of using white cardstock when she's doing her embossing, and using things like this Pixie Sparkles, which is what she did for her background. I prefer to use watercolor paper, but to each his own. She gets great results with it. So there you go. She's got that beautiful white embossing. Then she did some background colors at this point with her Pixie Sparkles, which I will show you. She also used this fantastic glitter paper, and this one's like blue multicolored, and this is a sneak peek. This is coming at the beginning of September. Sometimes we get too excited and we use it a little bit too early. By the time this video airs, you still have about another week before it comes out. And then the Just For You cutting die right here. And this is from Creative Expressions. All right, so let's try out this background that she was telling me about. So she used Pixie Sparkles, she used Teal Marine, she used Beyond Blue, she used Zesty Lime, and then at the top she also used Purple Affair. So let's start off with the bottom, sort of the leaves and the bottom of the plants. I sprinkled that on too heavy. I should have tapped it out. I just got excited. We can kind of move this around this way. What's really great about this stuff is if you do get too heavy-handed with it and you're like, ah, I used too much, tap it off onto something else and then you can just open the bottle and return it and start over. All right, so let's do this the proper way now. So we like to just tap it and squeeze and it sprinkles out like this. Now, there's nothing wrong with just doing it the way I did it. It's just not the way Debbie did it. I didn't want to get too far off of her original vision here. All right, and then here is the Beyond Blue. Just kind of shake, tap, and squeeze. And I tend to go way lighter on it than Debbie does, so I'm really gonna try to, like, right now I'm feeling like, oh, I'm using too much, but she always says, do more. Of course, you can do as much or as little as you would like. Sorry, this one is Teal Marine. So she's taking that Beyond Blue and now we're doing another layer of blue above that in the Teal Marine. And then she said to go back and do the Beyond Blue and just do a little bit onto that Teal Marine. Just mix it up a little bit. Then the last color towards the top is the Purple Affair. I think I left too much at the top, so we're gonna have a lot of Purple Affair where she didn't have, see, she has a small amount. I think I'm going to have a larger amount. Maybe it's gonna be a happy accident. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, you know what? This is a brand new one. There we go. Woo! And then, once we get there, we're gonna go back and we're gonna add a little bit more of that Beyond Blue, kind of into that Purple Affair. Now we get to do the fun and exciting part where we're just adding a spritz of water. Look at that reaction. Now, you can go just like that and you can stay, okay? Debbie likes to just leave it like this at this point and then let it dry a little bit and then just take a cloth and wipe off a little bit or blot it so that all that white embossing is exposed, okay? So let me find a little white cloth in my stuff. Okay, so you just kind of are doing this bit. And that's going to just really, we don't want to transfer too much color from one section to the other. So just kind of keep using new parts of your towel. As you move into each section. There we go. So yeah, I think mine's like way darker than hers. I think I went the opposite way. but you get the point. And then we've got all this great stuff left here, you guys. So here's a great technique. Take this, activate it with water, lots of water. Use some white cardstock, maybe just some scrap stuff you have sitting around. And you're gonna get this great background. Look at that, just from stuff that was left on your mat. And then just let that dry and you've got some really cool backgrounds. So waste not, want not, definitely. In fact, I'm gonna just keep going on this. See, pretty cool. All right, so you guys, we've got a great money saver on this and on all 4 of the stamps. If you're watching us on our webisode page at Paper Wishes, then talking and wiping. If you're watching us on our webisode page, then the money saver's on the right hand side, so make sure you check that out. And down below, we've got a drop-down list of product used where you can find everything individually listed, and those are links, so you can click on those if you're interested in one stamp or one particular coloring agent that we used. And if you're watching us on YouTube, look below the video and you'll see a link that'll take you to Paper Wishes webisode page where you can find everything I just mentioned. And if you like this video, consider giving us a thumbs up. It helps people find our channel. And subscribe, because we do 3 to 5 videos a week and you don't want to miss a thing. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.